Please welcome Snowflake's Director of Product Management, Jeff Hollan.
Good morning, everybody. I am so excited to be here this morning with all of you at the Build AI Keynote. I'm Jeff Hollan. I'm a Director of Product here at Snowflake on the AI team, and I do like to consider myself a bit of a builder and AI developer. I really love playing some of this incredible tooling and seeing how it can improve how I operate day to day. This is why I'm so excited to be with you here today and show you some of these incredible innovations that can help everyone here watching achieve your goals. So today we have a jam-packed agenda for you. We're going to start by looking at how developers like yourself are looking to AI to drive greater impact. Dive into why customers are choosing Snowflake for AI. Show you our latest cutting-edge AI announcements, including some customer stories and demos, and even dive into more opportunities for each of you to learn more. So let's start today by looking at how developers are starting to engage with AI. So what I often hear from developers globally is that you're really interested in understanding how can you deliver faster impact, provide better outcomes for your businesses and for your customers. You want to see how AI can help you build and be more successful with your job. Now, there's a few different angles that we often hear about with this. The first one is, how do I go and increase the efficiency of the systems and processes that I'm building? So maybe it's an ELT pipeline, or you're trying to understand how you can extract new insights. You want to understand how you can streamline this entire process. Use the latest and greatest of AI to help surface new insights more efficiently than ever before. Now, part of this efficiency comes from the second thing that I often hear, which is how you can increase the quality of the data-driven outcomes by using secure models, having built-in observability so that you can trust the results, but also that you can understand how your team can continue to improve, make the performance and the results and the quality even better. Now, the last thing that I often hear is you're trying to improve the productivity of your teams. You're spending so much time, often mired down in some mundane tasks or busy work. Whatever you want to call it, it can be time-consuming. So how can AI help offload some of those more mundane tasks so that your team's able to focus on the more strategic, higher-value projects? I often hear from developers, they're trying to understand how you can eliminate some of those tasks, often doing things so that your teams can self-serve more on their own. This frees you up to focus on more of those strategic pieces by helping your organization do more together. So after the explosion in AI over the last few years, we've worked with thousands of customers in Snowflake, and we've seen some real-world production use cases. And with that, we've started to observe some key trends. We've seen AI projects deliver the most impact across these three primary use cases running inside of Snowflake. Those three use cases are agentic AI, unstructured data insights, and machine learning. So the first use case is democratizing access to data-driven results with agents. So agents have obviously taken the industry by force. They're now a huge part of every single enterprise and many conversations understanding how to make more with agents. They make it possible to automate and reason using powerful AI models to accomplish tasks that were never possible before. We're already seeing major companies like Whoop, who are using the power of agentic AI and Snowflake so that they can enable their employees to directly access insights and understand trends in data without relying on the analytics team or static dashboards as an intermediary. So this means that now the analytics team is freed up to do more strategic work. Now, the other big use case is how you can combine the power of unstructured data with your structured data, blend them together. Think of all of the unstructured data that exists in your organization. These are documents, claims, contracts, support tickets, large blobs of text, even images and videos. Approximately 80% of data within an enterprise is unstructured. And we want to help you in bringing the insights out of that unstructured data that's often hiding in some of that unstructured mess. How you can pull those insights out and blend it together with your structured data. We see how companies like Nissan are using AI to automate this. It used to be a slow and manual process for them to try to understand trends on customer feedback across millions of reviews. The scale of this was massive. It would take 6 months, and they brought it down to 1 week using AI in Snowflake. Now, finally, the last big use case we're seeing huge traction with is around building machine learning models. Obviously, generative AI has been getting so much excitement and enthusiasm, but ML models are just as business critical as ever before. We're already seeing companies like Coinbase continue to double down in ML. to generate predictive insights to improve their customer experience and increase revenue. For instance, Coinbase is a customer that built ML models to quickly and accurately unban a user who may have inadvertently been flagged for fraud. Now, developers want to deliver faster impact and better outcomes for the business with AI, and we see them turning to Snowflake to do that. We want to make sure that when you're making big bets on AI to help drive these huge pieces of impact and drive better outcomes, that you get to work with the best in-class technology. So I want to show you now how Snowflake is the best place where you can build future-proof AI for all of your enterprise projects. So AI is only as good as the data behind it. So let's start with that data. Data is the foundation for every AI project across the enterprise. So for AI to be able to deliver reliable results and meaningful outcomes for your business, you need to make sure that that data is governed, that it's discoverable, that it's complete across a ton of different sources. Right? You've got Google Calendar, Workday, Qualtrics, a CRM, something like HubSpot or Salesforce. All of this could be coming in from different formats as well. Some of it's tabular, some of it's audio, some of it's video. Now, this is why we often say that there is no AI strategy without a data strategy. And when it comes to all of this data, over 12,000 customers trust Snowflake as their data foundation. Customers choose Snowflake because we make it easy to centralize all of these different types of data from different systems of record, integrate all of that data by default without having to deal with the complexity or the silos, all secure, all governed on a single platform that's easy to access. Now next, we realize that you're going to need to modify, prepare, and clean that data before it's ready for use. So for transformations and processing, our customers are simplifying their data engineering pipelines using fully managed offerings directly in Snowflake to offer even near real-time processing and robust price performance. So this means that you can use both CPUs or GPUs, all with zero ops or maintenance. And we have new AI SQL capabilities that actually let you infuse AI into those data pipelines as well. So rather than going and learning new APIs and coding languages, we're going to let you write SQL that you already know and love and add in powerful AI capabilities, things like complete, summarize, and AI filter, all of this directly inside of your data engineering workflows. Now, as developers are getting their data AI ready, they also recognize a critical piece of any enterprise in the world of AI is what's called the Enterprise Context Database. So this is a really important layer. This is the layer that wraps together your semantics, your embeddings, your business relationships, and state-of-the-art retrieval across all of your data, structured or unstructured, so that you can easily make that data AI-ready and AI-consumable. Now, increasingly, developers are turning to Snowflake to build their open and intelligent enterprise context database layer. It works across all your data foundation. It's easy for collaboration across AI tooling and teams. And developers trust Snowflake because we're leading the industry in this space. We recently led the Open Semantic Interchange Initiative. This provides a common language across data and AI teams for faster innovation for enterprises, all driven through open standards. Now, finally, once your data is AI ready, you can easily start to consume it for your different AI use cases. So you might be processing unstructured data insights, building agents, or building some ML models, or maybe even doing ML inferencing. Whatever your use case is, Snowflake provides seamless and integrated governance, provides observability across models. All of this works across agents and tooling. So that means that you can understand the results that are being generated, trust them, and continue to scale across your organization. We make all of this self-service so that technical or non-technical teams can interact with data. Maybe they're using natural language. Maybe they prefer Python or SQL. All of that is Snowflake being more interoperable, allowing you to do more in your AI workflow and deliver more for your business. And when I say interoperable, what we mean is that Snowflake gives you flexibility. You're able to use the best-of-breed models, use the tooling of your choice, and have experiences all pulled together without headaches or extra configuration. So this means that you can even use interoperable formats. Think of protocols like MCP, or wanting to use state-of-the-art models that you want available securely in Snowflake out of the box, including models like Google's Gemini. Plus the flexibility to bring in any open source model through containers, so you can use whatever your favorite tool is too. Maybe you like using notebooks, maybe you like using workspaces or VS Code. All of this comes on the same unified foundation that's running next to your secure and governed data. This is why we see over 6,000 customers are already turning to Snowflake for AI, because we're able to offer the best of the best across the infrastructure and the tooling, so that you can go from just experimenting with AI and learning all the way to shipping real production results. All of this easy and fast. You're going to see that in action today. We've got product demos, and we also have the chance to hear from real customers live on their experience building with Snowflake. So we talked a little bit about why developers are choosing Snowflake for the latest cutting-edge technology to deliver results with AI and Snowflake. And AI is moving fast. Snowflake is continuing to invest heavily in our AI innovations to bring developers the latest and greatest tooling and infrastructure to help all of you build faster, make more meaningful impact at organizations that you're currently working at. So I want to dive now into some of our new announcements, some of the latest AI capabilities that are available for all of you to try out to build these exciting new solutions. So let's start with agents. We're trying and helping make agents building easier than ever before, so that your business can leverage the full potential of your data and harness the power that agents bring. I am so excited to announce that Snowflake Intelligence is now generally available. For years, getting access to critical business questions. Maybe you want to understand more about sales. Maybe you're trying to plan inventory. It's been incredibly slow and difficult. Data is often scattered across spreadsheets, emails, or static dashboards. It's challenging to get everyone on the business on the same page. Snowflake Intelligence is your enterprise intelligence agent. It provides every user, every employee in your organization gets the ability to answer even complex questions using natural language. We're bringing those insights, the data that they need, right to their fingertips. So with a single question in natural language, you can now get comprehensive insights across what your business is working on and your business data. What I love about Snowflake Intelligence is it moves far beyond the what, and it starts to help you investigate the why. What is happening? It acts as your thought partner to facilitate deep research and even suggest solutions that previously were incredibly difficult and time-consuming that's now available to everyone. And as part of this launch, I'm so excited to share that we're launching with a robust ecosystem. Over 80 partners are co-launching with us, all here to help you easily and quickly build these enterprise intelligence agents tailored for your business, for your industry. Now, this includes key data providers that can help supercharge your AI use cases with more relevant data sets, consulting partners to help implement your solution in production, and technology partners that complement the capabilities of Snowflake Intelligence. Snowflake Intelligence provides an out-of-the-box experience for building agents. And if you're looking to build more custom multi-agent architectures, we're also excited to announce that the Cortex Agent API is also now generally available. This is the same API that powers Snowflake Intelligence. With the Cortex Agents API, you can build agents that enable high-quality, explainable results, orchestrating workflows that combine LLMs, executing SQL and semantic search, and surface those agents wherever it makes the most sense. Now, as you build your agents and applications, we want to make sure that they're interoperable. We want to help you connect those agents to other systems. Now, often you may have external agents or apps that need to access context or insights that live within Snowflake. So with the managed MCP server, you can have a managed MCP endpoint, no extra configuration, that's fully secured and hosted for you. So your AI agents and applications can easily discover, connect, and integrate with your structured or unstructured data inside of Snowflake, surfacing the insights from other agents inside of Snowflake wherever it makes sense, whether you're calling from something like Anthropic Cloud Desktop, Crew AI, or Cursor. Now, on top of that, you can also easily enrich your agents and apps with structured and unstructured data from third-party providers and publishers, or within others within your organization, all through the Cortex knowledge extensions. And you can also share semantic views and semantic representations through the marketplace. So this means that you can retrieve licensed content from top publishers, think the Associated Press or People Inc., to build more context-rich, domain-specific agents. More data to make your agents smarter and better. And we're not stopping there. Not only do we make it easier for you to integrate and share AI-ready data sources in the agents, we're now also introducing the ability to share agents directly themselves within region today and soon across clouds. So this means that customers can further simplify their integration of all of their data sources, all through Snowflake Intelligence and agents themselves, all with less upfront work. Now, domain teams can share pre-configured agents with other teams through the internal marketplace, and commercial data providers on Snowflake Marketplace can share with the ecosystem of Snowflake. All of this provides a plug-and-play experience for customers to draw additional insights and have access to additional data across all data types. Now, as demand continues to grow for agentic systems, the stakes are rising. For enterprise workloads, it's not just enough to trust the final answer. You need confidence in understanding how the agent arrived at the answer. Were the right tools used? Did the agent follow through effectively? Ineffective agents waste compute, they inflate latency, and they can lead to the wrong business decisions, all of which can erode customer trust and lead to suboptimal business outcomes. So at Snowflake, our world-class AI research team developed the Agent Goal Plan Action, or Agent GPA framework. So Agent GPA evaluates an agent's full reasoning loop to surface internal errors such as hallucinations, poor tool use, or maybe missed planned steps. The result is that you get a clear view of whether your agent succeeded, but also how it performed along the way. We're going to show this to you in just a minute in our demo. In fact, with that, I'd actually love to invite James Cha-Earley onto the stage. James, thank you so much for joining us here at Build.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead and dive into Snowflake Intelligence now. So before we get to the demo, I want to set a little bit of the context here. For a lot of the demos today, we're going to be focusing on supply chain. Agents, Snowflake Intelligence, this works across industries, but I thought using supply chain would be a good illustration because of how complex of an industry it is. There's so many moving pieces, there's so many people involved, and we want to show how Snowflake Intelligence can act as that enterprise intelligence agent to bring all of these insights together for the entire organization. So for the supply chain, let's actually start in our manufacturing hub in Austin. And we'll show you here now Snowflake Intelligence. You can see James is actually at Snowflake Intelligence now. And let's say now I'm in our manufacturing hub in Austin, and I want to understand a question for some parts that we're manufacturing, which is just, what's the status of our critical shipments that are inbound to this Austin manufacturing hub? So you can see James just kicked off the question. Right here, the agent kicks off to understand how best to answer this question. It understands the data that it has available to it. It understands who I am, and it's using all of that context mapped with important business semantics, right? I mentioned here things like critical inbound shipments. My agent knows enough about my business and business context, so it knows what I mean when I say critical. Now, in this case, I very likely have no idea where this data might live or how to write the SQL to do it, but that's okay because Snowflake Intelligence is taking care of that for me. You can see here that I'm getting my answer returned. And actually, one of the things I want to call out here that I love with Snowflake Intelligence, you notice that green shield at the very top. What this green shield is telling me that as the agent was answering its question, it was able to discover a verified query, a verified answer. So think of critical business metrics, revenue, customers, shipments, you name it. Ahead of time, you as a data builder and an agent builder can certify how to answer specific questions. We want to make sure we're measuring revenue this way. If that ever happens, the user gets this green shield so that they have confidence in knowing that not only did they get the answer, but they got an official answer. So here now you can see the agent's telling me about my shipments. It looks like many of them are in transit. Most of them were delivered. But I do see that 3 of these shipments are delayed. I'm actually a little bit frustrated. Some of our manufacturing has been slowed down because of a set of recent delays, like that purchase order we saw above, purchase order that was using ship fast. That was one that I want to make sure we get on time. So maybe I'm in a conversation with somebody in our supply chain team, my supply chain director, and I'm asking him, hey, what's going on with the recent trend of late shipments? Well, the supply chain director is also using Snowflake Intelligence, right? It's bringing everyone in the organization onto the same page. So they can come into Snowflake Intelligence and ask, hey, what's going on with all these recent late shipments, especially look at something like this recent purchase order. Now, I wanted to use this question because this highlights, it starts off the same way, right? The agent's looking at the question, it's understanding the context, but this is a complex question. You might even notice in the thinking right now, it's doing a number of things. It's looking at weather events. It's looking at some of my documents. I have things like emails, Slack conversations. It's looking at historic data of how shipments have gone in the past. Right now, this is doing independent exploration to understand and find patterns. This is really, to me, where Snowflake Intelligence shines. It's digging into more of these why questions. Help me understand the pattern. Help me understand what I can do about it. Now, one thing that I'll call out as it's doing this research and this work is that Snowflake Intelligence knows who I am. If I'm acting as the supply chain director, I'm only going to get access that I should be granted. All of the access controls, role policies, role-based controls that you've set up on your data in Snowflake automatically get honored through Snowflake Intelligence. There's no additional configuration you have to do. You don't have to map it into a new spot. So I have confidence in knowing that if I have sensitive data, think personal identifiable information, specific access policies, they're just going to be honored here out of the box. So that gives me the flexibility to independently figure out answers like this. So you can see it took a little bit of a time. That's okay. It was digging into a lot of sources. I can even see some documents that were referenced as we start to look at the answer. And here now I can start to understand some trends. Looks like there are some weather-related issues that have impacted some of my shipments coming from this Houston hub. At the very least, this analysis showed me that this isn't just a one-off instance. There's actually the potential that a number of my shipments might be at risk. So this is a really useful signal for me. Think about how much work it would have been for me to understand all of the insight that Snowflake Intelligence surfaced for me if I was doing it manually. So I can even see here I have some potential next steps, which is like, hey, I need to go consider potentially looking at some alternatives because there is a pattern emerging here. There are some weather-related events. If you have some critical components inbound, you need to go figure out if you need to take action. So now we bring in our finance team. I'm like, hey, finance, it looks like there might be an event going on here. I'm trying to understand how big of a risk is it if some of our providers, like ShipFast, aren't able to deliver their requirements on time. So I'm going to ask a question here, and this is an interesting one. It might look very similar to the other one. I want to know, okay, so what's the monthly value of all of our active purchase orders that have ShipFast, right? I want to know if all of these are going to be delayed or a set of these are delayed, how much revenue, how much money, how many purchase orders are on the line. Now, what makes this question special is that in this case, unlike the previous questions, most of the data, in fact, all of the data of these purchased orders is not inside of a table. This is actually inside of PDF documents, just like the one James is showing here. So we have 100,000 PDFs just like this one that have purchase orders. Now in here, there is information about who the carrier is. I can see ShipFast Logistics is right there. I can see the monthly value, but I've done no pre-processing ahead of time, right? Unlike traditional solutions where I'd be using a document processing engine and maybe have a set of values I want to extract, this was more open. I've just told the agent, here's a bunch of documents. I need you to go entity match. You need to go discover which of the documents have ShipFast. For those documents, what is the monthly value? So if we come back over here to Snowflake Intelligence, you can see the agent is doing exactly that. The agent is flexibly navigating through the different options here. It's actually using complex tools to do fuzzy matching. You'll notice it's not just saying, well, it has to literally say ShipFast Logistics. Maybe in some cases there's a space between ship and fast. It's accommodating all of those pieces, navigating those 100,000 documents, identifying the characteristics that I defined. Hey, it has to be going through my Houston hub, has to be an active purchase order, and then calculating an end result across all of that data. Now, this is a complex process that's happening, all running securely inside of Snowflake. But this is something, again, imagine if I would have had to do this manually. I'm on the finance team. I know we have a bunch of purchase orders. I know the data's in there somewhere. Maybe I didn't know ahead of time that things like the monthly value is something I was going to go look into. That's OK. I have this flexibility and ease of use so that I can access this agent and get access to where I need. So I can see now here that my agent is starting to get some of these values in the thinking process. It's starting to understand some of these documents. And now we have back our answer that's coming back. So we can see in this case it identified 48 active purchase orders. There actually is quite a big value here. I see it's over $1 million of potential revenue that's at risk. So I was able to powerfully navigate and do agentic document analysis across those 100,000 documents. All right, so I've clearly identified there's a risk here. Let's jump back over to our supply chain workflow. And the last thing I want to do here is I want to say, hey, there's a big enough risk. Let's move these over to a new logistics provider. I want to take all of these shipments that are at risk, and I want to move them to Rapid Haul. Now, the reason I want to ask this question is because this showcases that Snowflake Intelligence can also help you in taking actions. In this case, it's automating the work that normally I would have had to do manually. This agent's connected to things like our logistics system. I've even told it, hey, after you go and move these shipments, I want you to notify our supply chain on Slack. Let them know about this change. Let me know about the findings. And the agent's going to be able to do that all in my behalf. So you can see here, it was able to move all of those to Rapid Haul and send a message to Slack. Now, the last thing I want to show isn't in the user experience. It's actually in the builder experience. As you're building these agents, you want to make sure that they're high quality, that you're getting accurate responses, which is why the new evaluations framework and agent GPA is super important. So you can see here a number of questions that I've defined ahead of time that I want to make sure it's answering correctly. Now, in this case, we're measuring across a number of different characteristics, not just answer correctness, but things like logical consistency. You'll notice in this case, I actually got flagged. It noticed that, hey, when I was doing some document processing and one of my eval benchmark runs, it didn't deduplicate a few shipments. It found duplicates and it wasn't able to deduplicate them. Eval framework detected this. Now I can go take appropriate actions, right? I'll go back to my agent, maybe modify the instructions, and then I can run another eval. I can make sure, hey, did this improve? Did anything regress? In this case, I was able to fix that logical consistency issue, so I have confidence now in knowing for these critical set of questions that I'm getting the right answer. All of this showcases, both from the builder experience and from the user experience, how you're able to do more with Snowflake Intelligence, how you can bring to light these new insights across the entire organization. Thanks so much, James, for showing us that. Don't go too far, though. We're going to have you for a lot more cool demos here in just a second. Now, as fun as it is to see Snowflake Intelligence, I love to hear how this is being used in the real world. One of my favorite things to do as a product manager is seeing how these things are in action, which is why I'm so excited to invite on the stage with us now Hollan from Podium to talk to us a bit about how Podium has been using Snowflake Intelligence to enable data-driven insights across the business. Hollan, thanks so much for coming.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Hollan Austed, and I'm a Senior Manager of Analytics Engineering at Podium. At Podium, we're on a mission to help local businesses convert more leads and make more money. We're helping your local communities thrive with tools that help them get discovered, get more business, and be more efficient than ever before. Podium empowers these small businesses in your communities by arming them with AI employees, agents that handle every aspect of the sales cycle, from finding leads to selling them and scheduling them, and to re-engage them. Tools like these help small businesses scale up and engage with their customers all hours of the day, 24/7. At Podium, our founders, Eric and Dennis, have guided us to make a huge investment in adopting AI technology. We decided to build on Snowflake because Snowflake is ahead of the curve in Gen AI and agentic capabilities. Snowflake and other tools are helping us move faster, helping our stakeholders make decisions more quickly, and ultimately delivering more value for our customers. A major pain point that we needed to solve was helping everyone at Podium get rapid insights to data-driven answers. Doing so enables us to make decisions faster, particularly around learning where our customers are successful and finding areas where we can improve, all with the goal of putting our customers first. Previously, our stakeholders would spend hours tracking down answers to their questions among a sea of dashboards, or tracking down who is the right person with very specific domain knowledge to answer their one-off question. These efforts took time away from them focusing on taking action on the insights that they needed and took time away from their efforts that our data team was prioritizing. Let me describe an example of this. We've hired some new senior roles recently, individuals with a strong data background, but unfamiliar with Podium's data. Our data ecosystem is vast and complex. We have documentation, but there is a lot to sift through, and it can be challenging to find the data that they need to even get started. Using our Snowflake agents, these new hires across multiple teams with very different questions and data needs were able to find exactly the data they needed in minutes. Now, armed with the data that they need to make decisions, these senior leaders can make an impact more immediately without having to also be an expert in how to find data at Podium. I'll share more about what that solution looks like. Building agents with Snowflake Intelligence empowers everybody at Podium to immediately get answers to complex questions with simple, natural language. Within a short time, we've built multiple agents at Podium. Our main agent is called the General Knowledge Agent. This is where we land everyone in Snowflake Intelligence, and it's our first front line of defense, allowing users to ask questions such as, where can I find data on recent product performance? If this general agent isn't able to find the answer to a question, then it recommends a specific agent with tools designed to more carefully dig into the user's question, such as our churn agent or product metrics agent. Our users can easily toggle between different agents that are all backed by role-based access controls. Our end-to-end workflow with Snowflake Intelligence was incredibly easy to build and is all in Snowflake. These agents use tools such as Cortex Search, Cortex Analyst, and several semantic models. These tools work seamlessly together across our structured and unstructured data. For rapid development and easier collaboration, we deploy all of our tools, Cortex Search and semantic models, through various Git repos. Open up contributions to any subject matter expert across Podium. We have an open contribution policy, so the development of our agents is not siloed to one team, and everyone can provide input on their specific domain expertise, helping to ensure that our agents are accurate. Let me show you an example of Snowflake Intelligence in action at Podium for a new hire onboarding use case. In this example, we have a new hire that just started and needs help to figure out where to find the right data sets. She's over a new product, and it's unclear where to find the exact data that she's looking for. She just needs help understanding what data is available and where to access the information. Here we are in Snowflake Intelligence. I'm on the General Knowledge Agent, and I'm able to put in my question. In this case, I'm a new product manager over our AI product. I've heard about some features, and I need to know where that data lives. I don't know where to start, but with Snowflake Intelligence, I can be directed to the right data set to use. And here we go. The general knowledge agent has several tools specific to it, namely Cortex search tools that look across our dashboard documentation, our Snowflake tables, and other agents that we've deployed within Snowflake Intelligence. These Cortex search tools allow us to make recommendations on where to find the right data. In fact, it's recommended a dashboard that I've already reviewed. The dashboard didn't have the data that I needed or the filters that I wanted. Instead, I need a more tailored approach. In this case, I'll use the product metrics agent. As I scroll down, I'm able to select the agent and insert my question with some more nuance. In this case, I've heard about some features, talked over Slack, and I need to dig into which of our customers have adopted them. By using the semantic model, the agent is able to figure out which columns to use and which tables to reference for our AI product. I only want an executive summary with some simple visualizations to help me understand how our features are being adopted across our customer base. Also, this is for a demo. We're using a product agent on real product data, but we don't want to reveal anything sensitive. So the agent is going to scramble some of the data that gets presented. Our product usage analyst has access to several tools unique to itself. It's no longer accessing the same Cortex search tools. Instead, it has access to semantic models and Cortex Analyst to go and work across structured data. As I'm asking about our AI product, the analyst, the agent, is going to recognize that it needs to access our AI product's metrics semantic model. It's able to find the columns that I need that describe whether a location has the features enabled or not. Now the agent's going to think for a little bit, and that's exactly what I want. I need an answer that I can trust, not one that just spits out hallucination or a response that our analysts might not return themselves. So while the agent thinks, it's going to run verified queries and look across data that the rest of the team might have reviewed. And here's my results, an executive summary with visualizations and summaries of actions that I need to take. As I review the list, I come across a visualization that I might want to dig more into. I'm able to expand out the visualization, potentially export the data, and continue to work with the data that I might not have had any awareness of prior to interacting with the agent. On top of this, I might need to know how these visualizations are generated. Scrolling through the agent results, I'm able to click, how is this generated? And get a detailed answer on the data that was used and where I can go to find out more. You just saw how easy it was for our new hire to independently self-serve data to quickly onboard into their new job. The ability for anyone at Podium to ask questions and immediately get data-driven answers with plain, natural language with Snowflake Intelligence has been incredibly powerful for our business. For our analytics team, it was previously disruptive to have single ad hoc data requests come in, which delayed bigger projects that we were working on. Now, anyone in the company has their own personal data analyst with these Snowflake Intelligence agents, and they can answer any question they have instantaneously. This saves everyone time and helps us move faster to focus more on strategic priorities that benefit our customers. Thank you for having me, and now let's turn it back to Jeff.
Thanks so much, Hollan. It's honestly been fantastic working with Hollan and his team, and it's fun to see some of these agents in real life, even the real agents being demoed here at Build. So let's talk a little bit now about the second major use case that I introduced at the beginning, which is around fast-tracking innovations on unstructured data insights. So at Snowflake, we're reimagining data processing so that you can build AI pipelines using text, documents, images, audio, and video, all with familiar SQL, not having to use separate AI services. This is all possible through AI SQL. This includes powerful functions like AI Complete, Transcribe, and Classify that are powerful for tables and documents. Documents have powerful AI functions like parse doc and extract. All of these are generally available today. And these functions are powered by models from leading providers like OpenAI, Anthropic, Meta, and also Gemini. We're excited to announce that customers can build AI pipelines incrementally with dynamic tables, which now support AI SQL. This lets you build pipelines that are refreshed frequently, and you're even going to hear more about this tomorrow in the data engineering keynote. All of this is now possible with easy and transparent management as well. We know that when you're running these large pipelines, you want understanding and control of your total cost. So this means we've included things like cost predictability so that you can estimate the amount of tokens required and control features and access management across your team. AI SQL doesn't only democratize AI for all SQL user, but it also speeds up your development so that you can do more with AI in less time. So we recently ran proof of concept code using similarly sized models with both AI SQL and open counterparts. And we saw that the manual AI pipeline runtime, coding this all up manually, not using the SQL, was 3 to 7 times slower than what that same code was doing in AI SQL because of all of these performance optimizations we can provide in Snowflake. So with that, I do want to bring our friend James back onto the stage to help show a demo of AI SQL used to extract insights using multimodal customer service data at scale. So for this example, we're actually going to start here in a Snowflake notebook. Think back to our supply chain scenario that we started with before. And in this case, we have different shipments that are coming in. Now, I have a bunch of images of all of these different shipments. In fact, you can see them here. You can notice right here, some of those products definitely have some issues with the shipments. Other ones might be fine. Well, I want to do some large-scale analysis on top of these images. Now, if I come back over to the notebook, we're going to start by using AI SQL to do just that. Now, even though I'm doing this on top of images, I'm actually going to do this from SQL in a notebook. And there's 2 pieces to this first cell that I want to call out. The first one is the AI filter command. I'm saying I want you to filter to only images where there's a damaged package. You'll notice here I'm able to just use natural language to tell it find a damaged pickup image. Now, once I do that, I'm using AI complete to say, can you generate a description of the damage? And AI's multimodal capabilities will be able to generate that description. So I'm able to just run the SQL, and after a few seconds, get back a bunch of analysis on those filtered packages. You can see that here now. Now, as I get this information, I actually want to summarize them, right? I have a ton of shipments. Are there any trends or patterns that are happening across these damaged packages? Well, let's go ahead and do that. Here, I'm going to run my second cell. And in this case, the AI SQL I'm using is AI aggregate. This is honestly my personal favorite one. The power here is that if you think about all of the data that we might be processing, imagine we have hundreds of these shipments. Far too much data to send into a single LLM request. What AI aggregate is going to do is it's going to summarize all of this data. Snowflake will take care of splitting this up into multiple LLM calls, combining them all up. So here I'm going to say for every provider, I want a 2 to 3 sentence summary of the findings that we found. So that's what AI SQL is going to do for me. It's going to aggregate all the descriptions of these packages that we found. Now, once I've done that, I also want to create a classification. So I want to create a few different categories of the damage. So I'm going to use the AI classify model to detect, hey, based on the description, is this structural damage? Is this cosmetic damage? Again, in natural language, I'm just going to define those categories and let AI SQL do the rest to automatically tag the type of damage based on different types. Now, finally, once I've done my analysis, I want to start to aggregate it and share it out. One of the things that I want to do is I actually want to notify the different carriers that we have of the patterns that we're seeing as customers. So I want to generate these emails to send to all of them. But there's an important piece here. I don't have carriers that are all in English-speaking languages, but that's OK. I'm going to use AI SQL's translate function to tell this here in combination with complete, hey, for each of these summaries that I've generated and the different data that I have found, can you draft an email that I can use and send it to the right carrier? And this AI translate plus complete is going to draft for me a language or an email in the right language that I can send to the carriers. So here I'll switch to my Streamlit dashboard, and this is where we've actually visualized a lot of these findings here. Think of all of the insights now that we've uncovered from that unstructured data. I can see here carrier performance, route performance, where those packages were coming from. All of this made possible with the power of AI SQL using that familiar SQL language in my notebook that I'm used to. Thank you so much, James, for helping us out with that demo. We're going to bring you out here in a little bit. And I do want to share more about how many customers are using AI SQL today in production. We have folks like Allegis Group. Allegis Group is a global leader in workforce and business solutions. AI SQL has played a critical role in their migration of documents to their new contract lifecycle management platform. Allegis Group has saved tens of thousands of hours by using AI to process over 150,000 documents. This resulted in a much smoother and more efficient migration of documents to their new system. Now, another customer using AI SQL is Eaton. This is a power management company that wants to get customer sentiment analysis from call logs for use in their support organization. So for this use case, they switched from a custom solution built on tools like Databricks to AI SQL and Snowflake. As a result, they were able to improve processing time by 900% and save $500,000 in annual costs, all of this while delivering a better customer experience. Now, turning to our third use case, let's talk a little bit about machine learning. We offer a robust set of end-to-end ML capabilities inside of Snowflake. Everything you need from development to operations, inferencing, training, all of this under the Snowflake ML umbrella. From development, you can use your preferred tools. Maybe you like using Snowflake Notebooks or VS Code or Jupyter. That's fine. We can also complete the ML workflow by giving you access to large-scale CPU or GPU compute. And we do all of this while also giving you observability and monitoring. So this provides a full ML stack that's ready for your most complex ML challenges. Now today we're excited to share that bringing your models to production in Snowflake just got even easier with the latest round of exciting announcements. So for development, we're launching natively integrated experiment tracking so that you can build high-quality models by easily identifying, sharing, and reproducing the best-performing model across your different training runs. And since Snowflake ML is modular, it doesn't matter where you build your models. You might train them on Snowflake, but you could be training them on another platform. Or you want to import a pre-trained model from a model hub like Hugging Face. You can run all of these models in Snowflake. All of this is running on a fully scalable and serverless inferencing platform. Now, one exciting update to make this even easier is that you can now get instant access to top-trained, pre-trained Hugging Face models directly inside of Snowflake in one single click. Now, we're also expanding our online ML capabilities with Online Feature Store. This means that you can actually start to serve features for low latency online predictions in under 50 milliseconds. This is very useful for solutions like personalized recommendations or fraud detection. So with that, I do want to show another amazing demo in action. So let's welcome James back onto the stage to showcase how you can generate real-time product recommendations with the Online Feature Store inside of Snowflake. Okay, so again, we're thinking about this supply chain scenario, and now we're going to be thinking about delivering the actual solution to our customers. So I have here our e-commerce site. I'm a brand new user. So I see some recommendations here, but right now we don't know anything about me. So these are just general recommendations. Maybe I got in a batch training or a batch inferencing job overnight. But what if we could actually start to personalize this experience for me? So as I'm navigating the site, let's say I go to the electronics section. I see a few products here. I open them up and I view the description. We actually now are learning a lot about me through this clickstream data and all of these clickstream events. So I click on a few products here. All of these clicks are turning into signals that are being sent securely into Snowflake. Now what that means is that behind the scenes, using the Online Feature Store, we can turn all those signals into a personalized recommendation engine. In fact, if I switch over here to Visual Studio Code, I'll show you how that works. So here inside of Python, I've defined what's called the feature view. Think of this as a logical definition of a feature. In this case, it's capturing the user's clickstream data. I can see it includes things like the user ID, the product category they clicked on, and a timestamp. So I've defined my feature view right here. And once I do that, I have this online configuration. I love this. I'm just going to tell it to take all of this in as a feature, but I want to set a target lag of 10 seconds. So I want to have this thing updated in near real time, right, as those clickstream events are happening. Now I can run this inside of Snowflake and actually publish this model and this feature view into Snowflake. And so here inside of Snowsight, you can actually see this feature view, this online model that's running right now, actually powering the website that we were looking at before. So now if we go back to our e-commerce website, remember I had all of those clicks around electronics data? Well, now when I navigate back to the home page, you'll see here that my recommendations are going to load. And these recommendations, though, are very different, right? These are not the general purpose ones. This now knows about me. So it's recommending to me more electronic products. So all of this was powered and fueled by this Online Feature Store behind the scenes, easily workable all the way from my Visual Studio Python code into Snowflake running to power things like this site. Thank you so much, James. I will give you a break, though. So thank you for your help today, though. Okay, so I also want to help bring somebody up on the stage who can show us how they're using the powerful capabilities of Snowflake ML to provide better business solutions. So Kalyan has been working at PayPal and building some incredible stuff. Kalyan, I'll let you tell everybody a little bit more about what your team's been building.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for inviting me, everyone. Hi, everyone. My name is Venkat Kalyan Sanaboina. I'm a senior engineering lead at PayPal. I'm really excited to be here today to share more about why we chose to partner with Snowflake in our ML journey. One thing I promise you at the end of this session, it's not going to be too technical, so no pop quiz about XGBoost or the parameters that we're going to use at the end of this session. For folks who don't know what PayPal do, what we do is we provide global payments and e-commerce services for over hundreds of millions of consumers and merchants across billions of payments of transactions that we do. Before we dive to, I wanted to go through the use case. What does it mean to the merchant? Across industry, significant number of transactions are card-based transactions. Merchants don't receive every detail about the granular transaction level fee from networks instantaneously. Some merchants don't get to understand this fee even at the end of the month. So there is a difference in the cost. The lag introduces unpredictability into their businesses and is also error-prone. This challenge is all across the industry. It affects every company that includes credit cards as part of their company's payment model. What we realized is we need to do a better way of solving this estimation or prediction where this fee goes on daily. Because waiting till the end of the month does not give you a better understanding of the cost in any ideal way. So naturally we turn towards machine learning, because when in doubt as an engineer, you always add an algorithm to solve for it. Machine learning helped us to get self-reliant, granular, and accurate merchant fee estimation on daily basis. We looked at this pain point very differently. Previously, we were trying to get this merchant fee predictions either through static models, third-party solutions. All of them were either slow, laggy, or clunky. So the solution what we are looking at, that's when we turned towards Snowflake. Some of our data is already there in Snowflake. So building a machine learning model, that was a no-brainer for us. One platform, lesser data movements, fewer opportunities for failing systems, or somebody accidentally causing problems. We all have been there, right? We decided to build and operationalize two models for transaction fee prediction, one for each major network to begin with. For both of these models, the entire ML operation lifecycle, look at it as an SDLC lifecycle for ML, from the distributed modeling training to batch inference, the managed through automated pipelines and DAGs within Snowflake ecosystem altogether. Let me walk through some of these details from end-to-end workflow. For development, what we did is we started with data preparation. In my opinion, that's the most important step in any ML program, have a clean data. For feature engineering, we use Snowpark and Snowflake ML APIs for pre-processing ordinal encoder and transform categorical values. After we trained our models on our hundreds and millions of records using distributed training APIs for XGBoost, then comes the preloaded of Snowflake container runtime. We leveraged container runtime environment for Snowflake ML jobs, APIs that were easily accessible through distributed processing at scale, and accelerated our training workflows without any manual configuration or management. After training, we logged our models into the Snowflake model registry for scalability and efficient inference. During inference, we use Snowflake native ML observability capabilities to monitor any accuracy drift over time. For building models, we did use Snowflake notebooks. That was our experimental way to quickly move before going towards production. And in production, what we used is Snowflake DAGs to orchestrate how things are happening. Our training DAG in Snowflake orchestrates data collection, encoding, distributed training before logging of the final model into model registry. During production, this is about the other DAG. Our inference DAG is triggered with Snowflake stream with new data. At first time, the data cleans up and proceeds to inference task. All of this is easily integrated with our existing Jenkins and workflows of CI/CD, which orchestrates entirely in Snowflake ecosystem. Our DAGs in Snowflake handle everything today, from training to inference. In other words, they do all the hard work while we take the credit during presentations like this. At this moment, our models are now in production, and we are seeing great results. These models are running internally to monitor and flag any deviations that could forecast any anomalies ahead of time. While previously we were waiting until the end of the month to understand the merchant fees, now we are able to see inference prediction results, millions of daily transactions, multiple times of a day, almost near real time, with the stream at an accuracy somewhere standing between 97 to 99. What else do you expect? By delivering a fully automated, near real time fee estimations at a high accuracy, our business is benefiting overall. Now we are able to enhance cost transparency, strengthen confidence, and settlement and reporting processes overall. Our ML pipelines work very well today, but they are also set up to scale at a larger amounts of data. Different transaction types, geographies, networks. Snowflake enables easy scaling to meet future demands of our business without sacrificing any accuracy. My general advice, end of the day, is that always trust your models. Models are really good at this point of time, but verify your data. So we are excited to continue to partner with Snowflake for more ML initiatives. Thank you. Back to you, Jeff.
Thank you so much. I love the walkthrough that you did. I learned a lot from that, I will tell you. I have a lot to learn around ML, and it's been awesome to see what PayPal has been doing. Today, we showed you why Snowflake is the best place to build AI that delivers real value to you and your businesses. We covered a ton of ground, and you only got a peek at our latest announcements. We're really only scratching the surface, so I want to end by sharing some additional sessions that you can watch for more detail into the topics we covered. For more deep dive sessions, make sure to tune into the rest of this event. We're going to have content from Snowflake experts, customers, and partners. After this keynote, select one of the 3 tracks that sound interesting to you, whether that's agents, unstructured data insights, or machine learning. If you're interested in more than one track, that's okay. You can always go back and watch the other sessions on demand. Make sure to join us at the end as well for an instructor-led hands-on lab so you can start building with Cortex agents today. Thank you all so much for joining, and I cannot wait to see what you build with Snowflake.